11:02. I think we should go ahead and get started. I'm Eileen Benjamin with the Costa Mesa Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank OneOC for hosting this event, especially Amanda Green and Kevin Pappas, who did really the bulk of the organizing. A little background, a few months ago, we had a nonprofit breakfast that was hosted by IKEA, and one of OneOC's finest, Laval Brewer, who is their director of business development, was our speaker, and he gave us just tremendous information. And so we were excited, of course, when OneOC reached out to us again to offer up some guidance for our nonprofits. And so that's what we're doing this morning. If you don't know about OneOC, part of their mission is to help nonprofits become more efficient and effective in fulfilling their own important missions. And many of those services that they offer are free. So, they're a great resource for nonprofits all throughout Orange County, which again is why we want to make sure to get this information out to our nonprofits in Costa Mesa. I also want to remind our nonprofits to utilize the chamber services, which also are free to those that are members of the chamber. So some of those things, if you don't know, you should be using now, especially now, and that is make sure to get your messaging out through the chamber's many social media platforms. You're welcome to post on our Facebook pages, which reach thousands. We have a web page for you to use. So anytime people want more information, we have a button just for our nonprofits. You should make sure that page is updated. And again, these platforms, along with Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn, you can use them and get your messaging out there right now. You can also announce any virtual events that you might have on our community calendar. And then also, our community has been reaching out to us at the chamber, and they want to know what they can do to help people in Costa Mesa during this crisis. And they've been asking about what nonprofits are doing what. And so if you let us know, we can get that messaging out there as well. And again, post that on those pages. So we want to help people help your nonprofit and help your missions. And that's what today is all about. So I'm going to begin by introducing Amanda Green. She is the Organization Development Director for OneOC. And Amanda, I'm going to pass that baton to you to help us get started getting good information out.
Thank you so much, Eileen. Not sure why my video is not popping up with my, I think because I'm talking on the phone, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. As Eileen shared, I am the Organizational Development Services Director at OneOC. It's the longest title ever. And I work in partnership with two of the folks on the call, Kevin Pappas and Kelly Shannon Poisson, both who are amazing in terms of working with our nonprofits. Kevin oversees training and Kelly oversees our membership program. And I oversee our team as well as our consulting services for nonprofits. But today I'm really here to share a little bit more about just what OC has to offer and a lot of the things that you all can take advantage of during this time, particularly as we're in this crisis and things that we can do to support one another. So I'm going to just try sharing my screen here. Hope everybody can see it. Okay. So this is our webpage, oneoc.org, and you can find all of the resources that I'm sharing on here. I'm going to show you how to navigate through every single thing that we have on here and what the benefits are. And so, as Eileen shared, OneOC's mission is to accelerate nonprofit success. And so we do this by connecting both the nonprofit community and the for-profit community together through a variety of opportunities. And our history is really in that we are formerly known as the Volunteer Center of Orange County. And in being known as that, we really want to create opportunities that are available during this time for folks to get involved as volunteers and for organizations to be able to recruit volunteers during this time as well. And so if you see on our webpage here, if we scroll down a little bit, you'll see that we are actually the Emergency Volunteer Center for Orange County. And so that's been taking up quite a bit of time for some of my colleagues right now. Not only are we working to support Orange County, but we're actually being leveraged as a model for the state for helping organizations in the nonprofit space recruit disaster volunteers and help individuals or companies that are interested in providing that support through volunteer-based opportunities be able to do so. And so I'm going to show you just how you can get involved either as a volunteer or if you're an organization, how you can post a project on here. So if I scroll down here, you see that we're the Emergency Volunteer Center. I'm going to hit get involved. So this is our disaster page. And so this just gives you a little bit more information about specific disaster recovery projects. And so today is actually Earth Day, so happy Earth Day. There are a lot of organizations that are also posting projects for Earth Day. It's a National Day of Service. So we have two types of kind of volunteer opportunities on here. So we have these disaster recovery projects that are really focused on kind of this immediate need. So if you're in a space where you have an immediate need for a volunteer, whether it's for, something, perhaps you're a food pantry or you're serving a very vulnerable population. We've been getting a lot of requests from organizations like that. And so if you yourself are a volunteer, you have the opportunity to come in here and pre-register for opportunities so that organizations can seek you out in the event that they're looking for someone with your skill set, or you can go in and actually sign up for an existing opportunity if there's something that matches your skill set. And so this is just a little bit more information here. So if you're an organization, again, you can register through the website or you can contact disaster@oneoc.org. Either of these ways will connect you to somebody who can help you with your project. And so I'm just going to go ahead and show you. So if you want to become a volunteer, you can actually sign up here and it's really fast. So you can take a minute to register. So this is how it looks if you want to register for a volunteer account. It just takes a few minutes. And what's really cool, I'm actually going to move this little Zoom screen. What's really cool is you can actually indicate your interest in terms of activity types, your issue areas, and populations to serve. And on the volunteer or on the nonprofit side is you're looking for individuals who may suit an opportunity that you have that's available. You'll be able to incorporate that interest and you'll be able to actually search and find volunteers that meet your needs, and you can send out an email through the system to be able to potentially recruit them. So that's pretty cool. So that's how it looks. If you want to actually look at the volunteer opportunities, I'm going to click here. So this is our volunteer calendar. What's really neat about it is you're able to see all of the different opportunities that are needed right now. So you can search by keyword, schedule, location. There's also virtual opportunities in here. I'll show this a little later. We also have more ways for folks to get involved in virtual capacity. But you see all the organizations that are in here and the specific opportunities. I'm trying to see if there's one in here. If something is really urgent, they'll actually be marked with something that says urgent need. And so you can make it really clear if there's something that you have in here that's an urgent need. And so we can make sure that you're kind of at the top of the list and getting that priority taken care of, particularly as I mentioned, if you're working with a vulnerable population during this time. And then, as mentioned, there are some things in here that are skills-based. There are some things that are virtual. And so you can take your time and kind of go through here if you're a volunteer. So subsequently, if you're a nonprofit, you can go in and register here. That's not the right link, sorry about that. You can go in and register in here and be able to post your opportunities. So for disaster, for example, you can put the opportunities through the disaster link or through disaster@oneoc.org, or you can actually just go in and post the project. And if you need any help or support, we're here to help you with that. If you need help kind of scoping out your project, we're happy to do that as well. And so there's just a lot of opportunities that are out there right now. I think throughout this time, we've actually mobilized in the number of hundreds of volunteers. And we're continuing to seek out organizations who are really in need of volunteers during this time. We know there's a lot of things that are going on. We're happy to help and support and be that conduit to connect volunteers and organizations. And so I just want to invite also, if anybody has any questions or comments during this time, please feel free to put them in the chat. And we can answer those questions kind of at the end of the presentation. So if there's any questions you're having right now related to volunteering, volunteer opportunities, our Emergency Volunteer Center, please feel free to do that. So I'm actually going to go back to our homepage. So that was just a quick overview of our Emergency Volunteer Center. Again, this is, even though we're not always activated as an Emergency Volunteer Center, this is available year round as a tool to be able to recruit volunteers and be able to share the opportunities that you have, whether it's skills-based volunteers, whether it's for a days of service like Earth Day, or whether it's for kind of just a one-time opportunity where you need that support. And so that opportunity is available to both nonprofits and volunteers year round. I am going to scroll down now and share a little bit more about the resources that we have. And this is actually something that we created specifically during this time of COVID-19, and that's our Nonprofit Resource Center. I'm going to click here. So if we click here, we see that this is kind of our resource page. We have been updating this throughout the last 5 weeks, and just being able to create opportunities for organizations to connect, to find in one place all of these different resources and be able to get the help and support that's needed. So I'm just going to go through each of the sections here of the page and show you some of the cool things that we have here for you. So the first piece is actually some opportunities to stay connected. So something else that we created during this time was actually our nonprofit support network. And the purpose of that is really to help individuals and nonprofit leaders come together, share resources, engage in conversations. We do this in a virtual platform called Mobilize. I'll actually show you in a few minutes what that looks like. But this is one of the networks. We actually created a subgroup in the network specifically for youth development and education nonprofits. So if any of you are in nonprofits like that and you want to get involved, I'm happy to send out the invitation link, and I'll show you what that looks like later. And for those of you that are in leadership or CEOs, we actually have a weekly call through something we've created called the Nonprofit CEO Forum. And so this is started by Dawn Reese of the Wooden Floor, for those of you that may know her. She actually was just looking to get together a group of CEOs with like 5 or 6 people kind of when all this was starting. And she was looking for some help and support to just kind of lean on each other and be able to talk through some of the issues. And so what's really neat is we actually have 70 CEOs now that are involved in this. And so we do a weekly call. We'll have a guest speaker come and talk about something that's pertinent. And those that are engaged in the call have the opportunity to ask questions and just get a lot of in-depth information about a topic. And so something we did last week is we had HR and compliance. And then we've had insurance. This week we have marketing and communications. We've had crisis communications. And so it's just a great way to be able to get the information and share with peers and see how other people are dealing with some of the challenges that we're all experiencing right now. And I think it's been a great source of support for the CEO community. So that's this. I'll show you what that looks like kind of in a digital platform in a moment. But I just want to keep going down the page and share some of the other opportunities with you. So this is actually something new that we've incorporated, which is our office hours. So we've realized that folks may have a lot of questions right now. There's a lot of uncertainty and there's a lot of things going on, and not everybody has a lot of time either. So you kind of want answers quick. And so you're able to actually book an office hours utilizing the links here. So let's say you wanted to book some time with me. Maybe you have some questions about your organization strategy. Maybe you have a marketing question. I'm able to help you with that. So if I click this, you can actually schedule a 15-minute meeting with me. And it's pretty simple. You just go in here, pick a time that works for you. and you're able to book it. And you can provide me with some extra information, and then I'm able to call you and have that conversation. And so we've created that so you can do that with 7 different people from OneOC. And if you're an expert or somebody who wants to provide your time and support in that area, we'd love to hear from you, because our nonprofits are definitely in need of some guidance and support right now. And so we're happy to leverage your skill set as well. So that's our office hours. Now I want to show you just a little bit more about some of the things that we've been getting a lot of questions about. So one was with our financial options. Obviously, we all know there's been so much going on with the CARES Act, you know, the various loan options that are available for nonprofits as well as small businesses. And so being able to kind of navigate that. So we just have some call out resources right here that are related to navigating some of those issues, so that folks can get access to that information quickly that they need. We also have funding opportunities. And so these are options kind of both in the loan side as well as the grant side, just some kind of call out ones that are local here. So obviously we had the EIDL, the Paycheck Protection Program kind of right up top, which I believe is, you know, the Paycheck Protection Program is just due for another round of funding, which is great. And then the OC Community Resilience Fund, as well as the Rapid Response Grant Program. And so tomorrow there's actually a webinar hosted by OC grant makers on the status of the OC Community Resilience Fund. So I definitely encourage you to join that if you have a moment. We also have opportunities for you to engage in advocacy. And so this is a way that you can share some of the issues that you may be having with government leaders. And the reason this is important is because with the Paycheck Protection Program and some of the financing options that are available, there's a need for you to actually deduct the payroll expenses that are covered by a grant. And so with that, we want to showcase that there's a lot of nonprofits that actually are funded largely by grants, as we all know. And so being able to get the resources and support that are needed without having to deduct that money is important. And so Cal Nonprofits has actually put together this survey. So I highly encourage all of you to do that, to just be able to share your needs. It's a 5-minute survey. So you can click the link here. I was talking about finding volunteers. We have our volunteer calendar. We also have some other volunteer links on here. So we have Catch a Fire virtual volunteers. We have volunteer match. If you need urgent assistance, again, you can contact disaster at OneOC. So I'm going to keep going here. We have all of our webinars. So you're all on this webinar right now. We have some additional webinars this week. And we also have the recordings to all of the webinars that we've done in the past. So you can find them all here, and feel free to share these with folks that you think would find value in them. There's a lot of different topics. We've been trying to just help folks be vigilant during this time and be able to have the resources and support that are needed during navigating this crisis. The last thing I want to show you as it relates to kind of the nonprofit community is our resource guide. So I'm going to click on this. So this is updated daily. So as I was showing you, yeah, there's a lot of stuff on our website, but there's even more stuff in here. And what's really neat about it, this is not refreshing all the way. Let's see, there we go. What's really neat about this is you can actually look by topic and get some information that's really pertinent. So we have emergency and legislative updates, and then all of these are linked to various web pages. We have different topics like strategy, fundraising, Giving Tuesday is coming up, so there's some stuff related to Giving Tuesday. So you can actually go in and click in here and get even more information. So as I shared, there's some on the webpage, but there's even more in here. And so this is updated every single day. If you have a resource that you want to include, we're happy to add it. It's very easy. I just go in here and I can type it. And then for the ones, as I mentioned, that are kind of call out resources or things that we really want to highlight, those actually go kind of on the main page. What's also really neat is you can actually just search in here. So you can hit Control F. So I hit Control F. Let's say I wanted to find something. I'm going to do Giving Tuesday, right? So I would search for Giving Tuesday. I can find Giving Tuesday in here. So that's kind of cool. So if there's anything that you're really looking for during this time, you can actually just search it in here, and you'll have the opportunity to find it. So that's the last thing I wanted to share in relation to our nonprofit resources. Also on this page, we do have some resources for volunteers. So if you're a volunteer and you're looking for more opportunities than what I've already shared, we have some additional opportunities here. So some of these are local, some of these are national, and some of these are state organizations. And so we have Points of Light, we have the OC United Way with California Volunteers, Love Fullerton, the one I just found out about, All for Good. And so if you have resources related to Costa Mesa, I'm happy to add them on here as well with those volunteer opportunities. We also have ways that folks can support the community. So if you're wanting to donate or engage in advocacy as a company or individual, there's ways that you can do that here. And we have a list of partners. And so these are just some other organizations that are doing a lot during this time to support the nonprofit community. And so we want to include those organizations here. So you have links to all their different websites. If you need individual assistance, family assistance, if you want updates related to, you know, just what's going on in California, here's the governor's webpage. You want resources related to the actual COVID-19 outbreak. We have the World Health Organization. So all of this is just one place on OneOC's webpage. And so we know that there's just been so many resources and so many things that so many people are putting out right now, which is amazing. I think this has been a time that's brought so many people together. And so we're just trying to make this a little easier for all of you to be able to find it in kind of a one-stop shop. And so you can actually bookmark this and you can save this page too in your Google Drive, and you can see that it's updated every day. And so then, you know, if you want to get up-to-date resources, you can either just go to this page or you can go here. So that's kind of the overview of the actual resources. As I mentioned, now I do want to go back and share a little bit more about our support network and our CEO forum. So if you actually click these links, I don't know if it's going to let me do it because I'm already logged in, but if you click these links, it'll give you a sign up. But once you're actually in, this is what it looks like. I'm going to move this out of the way. So this is our support network. We have 177 members, pretty cool. So it's free to join. You don't have to do anything special. You just sign up. And so what's really neat about this is it's both a web-based platform and a mobile application, and it's also synced to your email. So you can get all these different updates that are in here. We have different events. So for example, the virtual tour that you're all on right now, here's the event. We have the Community Resilience Fund, which OC Grant Makers is putting on tomorrow. And so, you know, this is another place that you're able to find out about events. You're able to direct message other members of this community. You're able to upload files. You're able to post in here. So it's pretty neat in what you're able to do. We've gotten a lot of positive response from this. And so it's been really nice to be able to just share everything kind of in one place. And so, as I mentioned, in addition to the support network itself, we also have the CEO forum. And so if your CEOs, EDs on the call, I highly encourage you to be part of this. We're up to 72 folks, very exciting. And so this is a way that we can help the leadership teams of our local nonprofits stay connected. And so we have our weekly calls on here. We upload any files that we talk about from our calls. All the meeting minutes are on here. And so it's just a really nice way to kind of stay engaged and be able to kind of have everything again in one place. And so for folks that maybe I missed the last call or, oh, what was that resource we were talking about? It's just going to be right here. So it's really, really easy. And we actually just created one for the youth development and education-based nonprofits. We were noticing that there were a lot of individuals working in those nonprofits that were part of our community, and asked them, hey, is there a way that we can help and support you during this time? And so we've created this new group where folks can get engaged in here as well, share resources, share events, share files, and it's just another way for folks to be able to connect. So we have 40 people. We created this last week, so definitely getting more. And so something to think about for you as, you know, organizations that are involved with the Costa Mesa Chamber can always create something in here. This platform, it's called Mobilize. It's completely free up to 5,000 members in your community. So unless, you know, if you're a really large national organization, yeah, that might be too much. You may have to go with a paid option. But if you're like us, you're serving kind of locally or regionally, it's really cool. You're able to connect with a lot of folks that way. And so definitely just wanted to share that this option is available to you. and it's a great way for you to share some of the things that have been going on. And one last thing I wanted to talk about too is we have been actually asking folks kind of in this time to share positive stories. And so this has been a great way to solicit positive stories. We actually have gotten over 40 responses just in the last couple of weeks of inspirational stories that we can share with Orange County Register, Orange County Business Journal, other partners of ours. And we've been able to showcase some really great stories out of that. And so we've been doing a lot of the conversations and asking kind of out of these groups. And so if any of you on the call have a story that you want to share that's really positive or uplifting or innovative in something that you've been doing, I'm happy to get more information from you to be able to share that. So I'm going to stop talking because I feel like I've been talking for a while and open it up for questions. Kevin, I don't know if there's been any questions that have come in kind of as we've been going through the different resources.
Yeah, there's definitely a few that have come, and thanks, Amanda. That was really helpful. And I'm even learning. I work for OneOC, and I'm daily just learning and being enlightened to all the things we're adding. So thanks for that. That was really helpful.
Sure thing.
Question came in. Is it possible to narrow down volunteer opportunities on a city-by-city basis? I'm pretty sure yes, but do you maybe want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I can actually go back and show you how to do that. So if you click, I'm going to go back to the home page here. I'm going to go into our volunteer center here. And then for volunteers, find an opportunity. So in the advanced search bar, you can actually search by like your schedule, your city and state or zip code, the distance. So if you want something really close, again, if you want virtual, that's the opportunities are different. But yeah, if you want to serve locally, let's say, again, I know a lot of folks on this call are from Costa Mesa, so you could type in Costa Mesa and you could look up the specific opportunities. And you can also put the date. So you can say, oh, I really want something that's this week. Oh, I don't have time this week, but I really want to get started next week. You can do that as well. So all of that's available here in the advanced search. And you can even see here is everything has the organization name, it has the where, it has the time. And so anybody's required to kind of put that in as well. So hope that's helpful.
Great. And then Barbara had a great question. She was asking if community members access our website through the Chamber of Commerce. And more importantly, she was kind of asking if they had opportunities for volunteer positions that they wanted to post, would those people log in through the Chamber's website or through our website? And so I can answer that. If you, you would need to post your specific volunteer opportunity on our volunteer opportunities page, and then volunteers would be able to connect via that to sign up for that opportunity. So we have a training for how to post those volunteer opportunities in our training catalog on our website. And then like Amanda showed, you can also email the Emergency Volunteer Center if you have an immediate need that you need posted.
And for Eileen, that might be something to consider if there are organizations that are part of the chamber that are looking for volunteers, or if you have individuals who own businesses or what have you that want to give back, there's that opportunity for us to assist as that conduit too.
Okay, sounds good. But I think the answer is go ahead and go straight to the OneOC website for these opportunities.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Perfect. All right. And then someone asked, are these resources all public, or are they just for OneOC members? Everything that Amanda showed you is available to the public. So you can just log on to oneoc.org and visit our resource page and have access to everything that she showed you. But someone did ask Amanda, what is the cost of becoming a nonprofit member at OneOC?
Yeah, so here is a little bit more about our membership. Oh, that's not on here. This website is new. For those of you that don't know, it went live last month, and so we're all still getting used to utilizing it. So we actually have 3 different membership tiers. We have 2 that are showcased here. And our membership ranges from $265 for the year to $975 per year. And it really just depends on kind of what type of support and resources that you need. And so I didn't go too into depth of everything that OneOC does, but we actually have 18 different services that we provide. So we're a fairly robust organization operating within a fairly lean team as well. And as I mentioned, our mission really is to accelerate nonprofit success. And so you do have a lot of opportunities to access these free resources as a member. So right now, a lot of this stuff is available to both members and non-members because we really wanted to make sure that we were able to reach kind of the broader nonprofit community during this time without that kind of being the barrier to entry. And so as we get, you know, kind of further along in this process, we will start encouraging organizations to take advantage of the membership just because there are so many benefits. So with our mid-level membership or premium membership, you actually get access to the ICAT assessment tool. It's called the Impact Capacity Assessment Tool, and it looks at your organization from a capacity building perspective. And so that's normally something that retails anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000, depending on what organization is helping you through that process. And so that's something that we offer for free at our premium membership level. And so that's just one of the many benefits. As I mentioned, we do have a lot of different services here. And so with our trainings that Kevin oversees, members receive a discount on all of our training courses. They're considered kind of priority for we have a corporate volunteer council of Orange County. So if there's in need of a host for something like that, we're able to provide that opportunity to those members that want to host us. We have our Community Cup. That's an opportunity for both businesses and nonprofits to get involved. So members can be considered for the Community Cup to receive a $5,000 prize. And then we have things like our AmeriCorps membership. We have our back office services like accounting and HR. And so we just ask that organizations become members to take advantage of a lot of those services. And so again, many, many different things that we do. If you have specific questions about any of those areas, happy to answer, but that's just kind of the broad strokes overview of OneOC.
And I'm just going to jump in real quick, Kevin, and just mention when we put this webinar together, this is really about resources that our nonprofits can use now. And again, for free, this wasn't a marketing call. I think it's great the questions asked about how much the services cost to be a member. But again, today is really about all of these wonderful, wonderful tools that you can use now and without cost to your organization.
Absolutely.
Great. Is there any other final questions as we're kind of coming to the end of the presentation? We still have a few minutes. So if you have anything that you're thinking of or percolating from what Amanda showed, go ahead and type those in the chat box now. We'll give you another minute or so.
It looks like we got another, I'm just looking at the question. So I'm seeing, can nonprofits post volunteer opportunities at no cost during this crisis or must they have a membership? You do not need a membership at this time. So if you have an opportunity that you're in dire need of volunteers, you can absolutely reach out if you need that support right now. And that's not a barrier to your involvement or getting involved and getting that support that you desperately need right now.
Okay, we had another question come in. Are you finding an increase to people wanting to volunteer at this time? Not me, but maybe people have expressed concerns for personal safety.
So we've actually gotten a tremendous response in terms of folks wanting to volunteer. And so as I was showing kind of earlier, where you can actually go in and register as a volunteer, even if there's not an opportunity that you're interested in right now, just by being in the system and indicating your areas of interest, your skill set, you're able to be considered a pre-registrant. So when there are opportunities that may fit your skill set, your particular needs, your particular interests, organizations can actually contact you and find you in the system And it's because your profile really meets their specific needs, right? And so in terms of kind of that involvement, we are looking for folks who are, or we are seeing a lot of interest from folks who are interested both in being able to give back kind of in that disaster capacity, as well as the virtual volunteer opportunities. And so I'm actually going to go back to the resource page because we do have virtual volunteer opportunities absolutely on our volunteer calendar, but you can also find some. I'm going to go down to this nonprofit section. You can actually find some on here. And so one of the website I actually encourage you to go to looking specifically for virtual volunteer opportunities is Catchafire. They specifically specialize kind of in these virtual opportunities, and they've been around for quite some time. And so I think this has been a real boom for kind of the skills-based virtual volunteer because you're able to give back from the comfort of your home and not having to risk your personal safety. And so there's a lot of opportunities in here where you're able to support organizations kind of in that virtual capacity. And so that's one of the websites I would encourage, but you can also find more on some of these other websites as well. I hope that answers your question.
Great. We had another question coming, Amanda. Can you scan the profiles of volunteers without posting an actual volunteer opportunity?
I don't know. I'm trying to think because I think organizations can start to look for profiles, but I don't know if that has to be associated with a specific opportunity. We can absolutely get back to you with that. I know Ursula, our Director of Volunteer Services, would know the answer to that question.
I'm pretty sure we can definitely get that to you, Mary. I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, you can scroll through, but I think you get a deeper level of access and filtering once you've created your account. But I think you can see some of the opportunities on just the webpage without actually posting any opportunities. Any final
other questions?
Well, you guys have been incredibly helpful. The programs are remarkable and certainly impressive. I would ask our nonprofits to also keep an eye out for new initiatives that we'll have. When I say initiatives, information, further webinars, and when we can finally get back together to do another hosted breakfast, we'll certainly put something together, and hopefully in the near future, not so distant future. But thank you very much. I'm sure that Kevin and Amanda are available for further questions. If something else comes up, you can reach out to me at the chamber. And Kevin, I don't know if there's a way, I'm sure on the website they can find you readily and email you questions as well. But with that, I'd like to give you my big thanks for all the planning and for fulfilling this event today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eileen. And I believe that Kevin will be sending out a recording of this to everybody who joined. And on that, we can include our information so that folks can follow up. And we can share some of the links too that we shared today so that it'll be really easy to access all of this stuff. And hopefully we can get that answer from Ursula too so that we can provide that to the folks who were on the call today. Thank you, Eileen, for having us. We appreciate it.
You bet. Terrific. Well, stay safe and stay well, everybody. We'll talk soon.